Hello everyone, my name is Dorian and welcome to Brands Hatch. We are with the Porsche GT3R and it's just going to be a heck of a lot of fun to run it this week. This is one of my favorite combos. The Porsche just works, chef's kiss here, absolutely perfect. I'm using the VRS setup, it's pretty good, but you can also use the fixed setup. It's actually quite nice here, it works quite well, just lacks a little bit of downforce, but what are you going to do? I'm going to run the fixed series and the sprint this week. I'm just going to show you guys the lap real quick, and then we're going to go over it corner by corner. So if you enjoy it, leave a like, and if you want to see more track guides and race videos, then subscribe to the channel. That's it. Let's get on the track. Okay, so we're coming up to turn number 1. Let's look for a braking point. It's going to be right before the 100 here. But first things first, you want to put the car on the left here. A lot of people like to take this corner from the middle. You're just going to close the corner up and going to make your life a hell of a lot harder on the exit. So you want to keep the car to the left here. You can see I'm going to start braking at the 105-ish. Peaking at around 65%, 70% almost. And releasing it down into around 50% and staying on it for a little bit. I'm aiming towards this part, this little triangle here where you got the runoff and the grass. This is my turning point, my actual turning point. So from this point on, I'm gonna start trail braking and rotate the car. You'll notice another trend with this car, with the Porsche, that is I'm downshifting very late. If you downshift early with this car, you're gonna have over rotation, very difficult to manage the rear tires when that happens. You really want to downshift late into the corners, especially high-speed corners. That's gonna really help you keep the car under control while still getting plenty of rotation on entry. So into fourth just now, trail braking, and I'm just trail braking for a long time here. Staying in fourth, mind you, it will do it in fourth with cold and warm tires, not a problem. Just want to carry the speed as much as you can. You can see I'm going neutral here, just trying to find the apex before I return to the throttle, and I'm just gonna commit to 100% quite early and stay on it for a long time. Let the car wash out all the way to the outside, putting 4 wheels on the AstroTurf here. You can even clip the dirt just a little bit if you got a straight wheel. That's not going to be much of an issue, not even an off track. And you're through. That will bring us to turn 2 now. You want to brake late and hard here. You're going uphill. The braking distance is very, very short. So there's a lot of time to gain, but just being brave here. We got the orange stuff on the left. That's going to signal us when we need to brake. And we're going to brake very, very hard, around 90%. And starting to turn in the car quite early. Even though it's a long corner, a lot of people like to turn in late here. I don't find it to be very useful because it's a long corner. I want to take a nice short route into first gear. So I'm downshifting now into second and late into first, just as I approach the curb here. And you can see I'm already on the inside. I'm not waiting at all. Trail braking, stay on the brakes just a little while longer. And about halfway through, I'm already back on the power, no hesitation. Around 70%, and then squeezing it all the way back to 100%. About halfway through, you're already going to see me upshifting into second. Taking the runoff here. That's going to give you some grip. The runoff here is excellent. for GT3 cars. You can really abuse it, and you can see that on the next corner as well. Immediately taking the car to the right, and we have the 50 board here. That's going to signal us when we need to brake, so slightly before that. Let's call it the 60. And we're going to let the car slightly go diagonally to the outside to this runoff, because surprisingly, when you clip it on the outside, it gives you a ton of grip. Just an instant amount of grip that you can use to turn in the car in very high speed into the left-hander here. So you'll see that here. I'm peaking around 60%, releasing the brakes. As I approach it, you can see the car's just changing direction. I don't even need to trail brake anymore, because the car is just going fast. I'm still trail braking a little bit. Shouldn't have done that, because look at how much I'm about to clip this curb. I'm already back on the power very, very early because of it. I'm trying to understeer, watch myself away from it, because I turned in a bit too hard. I should have just let go of the brakes and just start return, slowly to the throttle. Just really slow application. That's what I'm trying to say. English. Oh my god. Okay. So squeezing the throttle. And now as I dismount the curb back to 100%, letting the car go all the way to the runoff here. Not a problem, no off track. You want to avoid hitting this little triangle here, this little part, because that will give you an off track. You want to return to the track before that. And yeah, my keyboard is stuck. Nice, okay. Now, into this corner, this is where most people really struggle, this in turn one. So you want to understeer under brakes here. Basically, that's what I've discovered. You kind of want to induce some understeer on entry, and then slowly rotate the car into a very, very, very late apex. I'm in 4th gear right now. I'm going to brake pretty late. I would say at the 45. So if you got the 50 on the right here, slightly past it. Start braking, peaking pretty high at around 80%, releasing it gradually. And you can see I'm turning the car, but still watching out to the outside. I'm staying on the right here. Don't turn in too early. Downshifting just about now into 2nd, so very late downshift into 2nd. Sitting 3rd for a long time. I just don't want to scrub off too much speed, And now I'm still trail braking a little bit, and I'm going to start releasing it as I turn in the wheel. I want to grab a late apex. This white line is a good indication for that, where your apex is. And I'm already back on the power, but you can see I'm very gradual. I'm just squeezing it gently, making sure I'm not going to understeer or kick the back end out. Both can happen here very easily. And only now I'm committed to 100% as we're about to finish this left-hand curb. Staying committed in 2nd gear the whole way through. A lot of cars like to take this corner in 3rd. The Porsche has pretty long gearing, so 2nd works best. And you're through. There you go. Now, this is probably one of the hardest corners for me with the Porsche to just get absolutely right. It's not that you can lose or gain a lot of time here. It's just I never feel like I'm doing it right. I spun here a ton of time. And again, the secret is in the downshift. I'm going to brake in 5th gear. I would say to 75. So if we have the 100 and the 50 board here right in the middle. So right around here, I'm going to start braking, but look at how long I'm staying in 5th gear. So still in 5th, still in 5th. It's as if I'm about to turn in the car and take the whole corner in 5th. And I'm only going to downshift very late just now into 4th gear. And that's really going to give me the right amount of rotation, not too much, not too little. And I'll still have good RPM for the exit. The peak is pretty shallow, I would say. Yeah, around 60%. Gradually releasing it. And I'm going to trail brake for a very long time, all the way into the curb here. And as soon as I finish trail braking, I'm going to return to the throttle quite early, squeezing into around 90%, a little bit of hesitation, just trying to wait out, flipping the curb on the inside, wait it out, see if there's too much understeer. No understeer, I'm good, I'm committed to 100%, using the curb on the exit, and you're through. Now, it's exactly the same thing in this corner. I had a lot of over-rotation problems here, and the way I solved it is just downshifting light. So 4th gear. We're going to brake, again, somewhere between the 100 and the 50. Let's call it the 75-ish. You have this orange marker. That's a good indication. But you're already looking here, so you want to kind of find your sweet spot here. Brake early. It's better than braking late on this corner because it's unrecoverable if you go too wide. Peaking around 65, 70%. Releasing it towards the apex. Still in 4th gear, still in 4th gear, still in 4th gear. And now into 3rd. So very late into 3rd gear, just when I need the maximum amount of rotation and right before I want to go back to the power, because the power really stabilizes this car. This car rotates like crazy under brakes, and it's very, very stable, understeer even. under power. So that's why you want to downshift late, so you can use a lot of rotation without, you know, upsetting the car too much, and then just smacking the throttle all the way to the outside. You can see I'm trail braking for a pretty long time, and as I put in third, I'm pretty much going to release the trail brake, and right before the curb on the inside, the apex, I'm going to return to the throttle. I'm just going to squeeze it here, and from this point on, committed to 100%. I could have taken it a bit faster. There's not a huge amount of time to gain here, maybe half a tenth, maybe a tenth if you're really quick on this corner. But it's just not worth it in my opinion. The runoff here is just, it's very dangerous. As soon as you clip it and you're going quickly, there's just almost no way to recover. So, and there's not a huge amount of time you can gain there. All the time on this track is on the first sector, so if you can gain it there, you're gonna have a good lap time. Now, this corner is very, very tricky. It's fully blind. You really gotta know your way around the track. Look at my positioning where I'm putting the car. So I'm not fully to the left. I'm definitely not fully to the right here. I'm sort of to the left of the middle of the track, right on the rubber. Letting the car go to the outside. No real visual marker for the braking point. Maybe this guy here, the green stuff. You can use that. As it disappears from my field of view, I'm gonna start braking. But really, it's a matter of feel. And as I brake, I'm gonna let the car go all the way to the outside and really clip the white line here. You wanna open up this corner as much as you can. I'm gonna stay in fourth gear for this one. Third seems to upset the car too much, and it's just not long enough to have like a nice smooth exit. It's just too jittery, and fourth seems to be faster overall. Yeah, around 40% peak, gradually releasing it. Now I turned in a tad too early here. And you'll see what happens when you do that. If you turn in too early, you can see I'm off the trail brake, but I can't go back to the power. I have to wait. Now, usually I want to turn in a bit later than that. Let's say I want to rotate the car from this point on, sort of, not, I don't know, 5-7 meters earlier. And that would have allowed me to be on the power from this point on, very much committed. But I had to wait, I had to stagger it a little bit. You definitely always want to clip this curb. There's no off track here. You can overdo it and get a time penalty, so don't exaggerate. It also bounces the car like crazy. You don't really gain much time off it, so you want to clip this curb. Let's see how much of the car we have on the inside here, just so you have some sort of reference. Chase, where's my chase? There it is. So you can see pretty much all of the car on the curb here, maybe the left side on the white line here, but that's pretty much how much you want to cut it. Just turn in a tad later and you'll be a lot better on the exit. I must have lost about a tenth and a half here just by having to wait so long on the power. You can see putting to around 70% and I'm washing out. I'm waiting just a little bit before I go back to 100%, just trying to stay committed, but don't wash out the car too much. Now, this is a nice corner. I really like this corner with the Porsche. You can use second or third. I find third to be a little more consistent. It's not as snappy on the brakes. As we've said, the car just, you know, it snaps when you downshift too early. So third gear works better for me. It's a little understeery on entry, but you can manage that if you brake early enough, and it's still very good on the exit. So I'm going to brake, I don't know, let's call it the 70-ish, right around here, braking quite early. Peaking around 65%, gradually releasing it, downshifting to third, and taking the car all the way to the inside curb here. You can even clip quite a bit more than that. I didn't clip quite enough, in my opinion. You can put your left side right around here, and that's going to give you a solid amount of rotation. Just got to be careful not to over-rotate the car on entry. And yeah, you can see I'm trail braking all the way into the curb, and as soon as I hit it, just going back to the power, committed 100%. There's all this camber. It's going to suck you in, not going to let you wash too much to the outside. And you can use this curb on the way out. Just don't overdo it because it's very easy to just drift around the grass on the right here. Coming up to the final corner, this is just about being brave. You got to brake late here. That's where all the speed is. The exit is going to be pretty much the same whether you brake early or brake late, so you might as well brake late. That's what I've discovered. So you want to be as close to the 50 as you possibly dare. Let's call this one the 65-ish. I don't know, something like that. You want to be as close to the 60 as you can, to the 50 as you can. And I'm going to stay on the left, as far left as possible. White line, left tires, peaking around 80%, 89, 85%. And I'm going to start to rotate the car right as this patch of grass meets the tarmac here. releasing, and again downshifting not too early here. So you can see I'm slamming on the brakes, waiting on it a little bit, letting the car slow down, and only now I'm rotating the car with a downshift into third. Not too early into the inside curb here. You just want to be very early on the power, so you don't want to rotate the car too early here. And squeezing the throttle gently all the way to the outside. You want to use all of the track that's available to you, and then immediately go back to the inside to take the shortest route possible. That's really good for qualifying. For a race, I would stay somewhere in the middle, and that will give us a 121.872. I hope you guys enjoyed this track guide. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more track guides and race videos, then subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.